We hope you enjoyed episode 1 with John Coleman, People, Passion, Power Agent Series. Episode 2 is coming up right now. Episode 2 gets kind of interesting because we talk about the plateau that agents hit and why people will stay on a trajectory, the same trajectory for a period of time. So check it out, give it a listen, and thanks for watching. Why do you think people get stuck? Look at like somebody that's doing 12 deals or 8 deals or 6 deals, new, old, whatever level in the business, age or how long you've been in the business. Why do people, I'm fascinated by, but people that just go like this. Mm-hmm. Some it's by design because of their life and family and kids, but others genuinely are stuck. Mm-hmm. How do people get unstuck?
I find that people try to do too much to change their business at one time. It can't be you read MREA or like one of those books and like you can implement everything all at the exact same time. You got to have your base and then you got to layer on. So like I tried open houses, I tried better open houses, I did this, I've tried doing multitude of different things, but I never tried to do all of it too much. When I started to, I just use video a lot because it's on my head today, but like when I started to do video, the first thing I did was sit in front of my computer and record a really bad video. And then the next one, I added text on it. And the next one, I tried to improve the sound a bit. And you can take that to your business too. Like, what can you do this week that's going to help you host a better open house to meet people? What are you going to do to host more people and get more people to meet with? Like, there's great books, and I found that if you focus on one thing, try to improve it, and then hold on to that, and then try to bring something else in, is typically how I find it to work best.
How'd you find your niche? Like, there's so many different ways to lead generate. You can door knock, you can cold call, you can do direct mail, you can pay for leads through Zillow. I think people struggle with that. And how did you go about determining what that is for you?
By failing. Like, I've tried a lot of stuff. We've spent a decent amount of money on trying to do internet lead generation where people click on properties and it takes their info and then they call them, and it just wasn't me. It never felt right. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but it just wasn't me. And the further we got down, the more and more I realized, like, why don't I just do more things to bring out more people within my network and sphere? And so I host little events where I get to hang out with people. I like to grab coffee with people and stay in touch with them. And part of it is, sure, like I want to increase my business, but the other part of it is just generally caring about the people that you got to meet and work with.
Yeah. One thing that is unique to the business, and when we talk with agents, like, you got to find your niche. We can't tell people watching this right now what their niche is. And a perfect example is John's not great at doing open houses. Not yet.
I'm great at open houses.
Yeah.
I'm good at talking to people.
Yep.
But I can't convert it. So there's something in there. And like I've tried, like I've done other things before that brought it out a little bit, but it just wasn't on the consistency basis. And so we had a conversation at one point where it's like, either I'm going to get better at open houses or I'm going to take 6 hours of my weekend back and do something different.
That's it right there. Like, if I can hold on to something for a second, I want to hold on to that right there. You tried it long enough, you committed to it, and you might recommit to it at a different spot, but you said it's probably not your best use of time. And that's a real answer. For me, open houses, it's one of my stronger suits.
Yeah.
And it is a good use of my time, other than the fact I have 3 kids and can't be out every weekend. But
I beg you all the time to do more.
he does, I promise. But so everybody's going to have their own unique skill set that you bring to the table, and some of which you can learn. But what I read into you, and as I look into how you've come along so fast, it's really, you stayed in your lane in what you're passionate about, and that is people, that is caring. So you've just doubled down on your sphere. Let's talk about some of the things that you do to double down on your sphere. You had a scotch tasting the other night. Anything to do with real estate?
Nothing. It had more to do with my dad coming in town, hanging out with him, and I thought it's something that other people would like. It's kind of creating a scenario where I do things that I find fun. The talk about some of the events that we've been hosting for a little while. All of those don't have anything to do with real estate. They stem from other fun things. Crabber Day started with me and some roommates over on Kentucky Ave 7 years ago or something like that, where we would go down to the wharf, get a bushel of crabs and a keg of beer, and just have fun in the backyard.
Yeah.
And so that's something that was fun, and it's something I knew people had fun with. So if we're going to host events and invite people, why not do things that I know people that I know want to do? And it's just a natural thing.
Yeah. You're really good at staying in touch. I don't want to overlook that. It's sounding like it's an easier task than it really is, but the truth is you're purposeful about staying in touch with people.
And I'm not as good as I want to be. Like, there's more I want to do. And one of the conversations I was having this week with my wife was, there are so many people that we like and like to hang out with and we want to go have dinner with, like, but there's just not enough time.
Yeah, how do you do that?
And it's hard. I don't get to do it as much as I want to. Just had a meeting with Ashley today where I said that's actually one of my goals. I want to make sure that I can spend more time on the people I like, because I want them to know that it's an authentic relationship. I want them to know that I genuinely care about them and want to talk to them and hang out with them. Like, it's kind of like I want to become popular. It's like a weird thing, kind of like that. But it's I want to have that good connection with people and have fun with them. And that's the fun thing about this business, is it allows that. But then you start to have that balance. Like, okay, well, I can go have fun with people. I can do videos, but those two things don't necessarily pay the bills, so making sure staying consistent on that morning, like we talked about earlier.
And we talked with an agent just the other day in our team meeting that actually probably doesn't want to be the social butterfly and prefers the cold calling and is highly successful at that. And that's what I find just fascinating, and that's when I see agents' careers really take a direction, is when they can figure out what they're going to do consistently and actually do it. That's a component of it I think people skip, because I don't think people try stuff long enough.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like, somebody told me the other day, like, well, I want to try cold calling, and I want to try it for a week. And I said, try it for 90 days and see if you like it. You're going to try open houses. Try it for 6 months and see if you like it. Like, let's figure out.
And see if it works. And trying to tweak and improve and pay attention.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be present at an open house. You go and you put 2 signs up and you sit there and then you collect some names and then you never follow up with people. And these people literally just signed up their information because they're interested in real estate, and you have an opportunity to help them. I feel like I'm yelling at myself right now.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. And as we're into this conversation, something's evolving for me that I don't pay enough attention to, but we don't have a lot of, like, when we're doing videos and stuff like that, we don't actually have expectations, but we do have a commitment to the process, and then expectations may develop, but right now we don't have any expectations with it, which is kind of cool, especially if we're committed to the process, and we do think it will work, but we also don't have any limitations. We're not thinking in the way of, like, this has a ceiling. We don't think, you don't think that you can't go from 0 to 100 deals in 4 and 4.5 years with having a ceiling. So take me deep a little bit on that. Like, how do you think exactly like that?
Can you repeat that?
It was a loaded question.
Yeah.
So it's around expectations. I'm trying to figure out if you expect something of yourself and versus the limitations you put on yourself. Expectations, limitations. I know you don't think that there's a limit. You don't think that way.
Well, I think I'm the number one hardest on myself, followed by an equal number 2 of you and my actual business coach. And that's a pretty good pecking order. I want to hold myself accountable. I set my own goals, and I want to meet them, and I've never been a person that likes to miss my goals. So I had to have a conversation this morning, which was like, I'm not on pace, and it's half a month into the year, and what are we going to do? I know it's a slower time. It's January. Yeah, that doesn't really work though. Like you got to be out there helping, doing things, and why are we missing is the real question. So what can we do? What can we commit ourselves to in order to push that forward? So it's holding yourself at a high level of accountability and having accountability partners. I think having someone there, having a coach for me has been great. She's a coach, but I also call her a therapist because there's certain times I need to talk to her about certain things, and she kind of helps me through them and think through them in a different way.
Yeah, I know we're both big fans of coaches. I've got two of them. You've got one. Just somebody to vent to and kind of clear our heads a little bit once in a while when things are.
And not any coach. Like you can't have it. Like it took me a good long while to find one that I like. And I know people say you should get different coaches at different levels. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Yeah, I'm still early in my career, so like we'll see. Maybe there's a time when it makes sense, or maybe she gets sick of me, or maybe there's something like that. But having someone to push you and understand, and there's if we're going to talk about coaches, there's two types of coaches. There's coaches that are coaches because they want to make money and they do that, and they're given a script and they can't leave the script, and they're like, oh, you want to work on open houses? Here's the book to work on open houses. Tell me about that. And there's other ones that are, well, like ours, that are more engaging, that are able to ask the better questions, get to it, and they're not afraid to jump off script and have candid conversations around where the issues and troubles are. So I think you can't underestimate. I mean, it's a big investment, but I think it's an important investment for somebody. But you got to lead with revenue.
Does the business feel like a grind to you? You're doing a lot of units.
Currently, it does. It absolutely is. I work pretty much every day of the year, besides when I take vacation or I get a surprise weekend off, or not usually a weekend, like a surprise day off. But I work every day. Yeah. Like there's no doubt about that. And even on the days where I'm not working,
you're working.
I'm working.
Yeah.
So it's recently went to Japan, which was awesome. It was one of the first times I could sort of connect. You kept yelling at me, but I was able to respond to a couple things, but for the most part didn't have to really worry about it all because it was kind of covered. But it took a long time to build to that realm of getting there. So having the team coverage was awesome in that.
For clarity, I didn't yell at him while I was on vacation. I was yelling at him to take a vacation.
That's
so
correct.
So that's one of the other things I don't think people share enough. When you level up, right? So you're going from 50 to 75, or for those of you sitting there doing 8 or 4 or 6 right now, it's really all the same conversations at different levels with tweaks along the way. It's a mindset and it's a tweak. But when you do the type of volume you do, you're going to have to work a lot. That's the reality of it. So,
and it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody, right? And you're driven. So where do you find the reward in it? Somebody might be sitting there going, I don't want to do that. Totally respect it. Get it. Do 24 deals and do 2 a month and figure out how to do it in a way that supports the life you want for you and your family. And I got as much respect for people that make that decision. But what is it that keeps you going? How do you maintain your enthusiasm? Just how do you keep going?
It's because it's a people business, and it goes back to I generally care about the people. If you want to bring it full circle, I like helping people. I want to get in front of more people to help more people. And then in the meantime, I'm building my own little thing here where I can train. I have a training ground to train other agents, so I know that they know how to do it right and go out there. And eventually, they're not going to work with me. They're going to do their own thing. They're going to be my competitor, but I know that they're going to have the best interest at heart to bring it forward.
Yeah, very cool. So if you have questions for John or myself, here is my number right here, or maybe right here, depending upon how we edit this video. Shoot me a text. Fire off a question. We'll be happy to answer it for you guys. And if this is something you guys find valuable, we can do more of it. It's just a shop talk, and we do it all the time. So we just thought we would record it and just talk to some agents and see if anybody's interested in what we have to say. And we don't have any expectations, but we also don't have any limitations around it. So
yeah, and one of the fun things we had about talking about this is there's lots of opportunities to listen to people that are pitching a product or doing something like that. Or they're the super mega agent doing that. we kind of want to have a normal person's deal. Like, what are real people dealing with in real estate in real time? And kind of understanding what that looks like. And it'll be somewhat based around the DC market, but I think a lot of the concepts are universal.
Yeah, and my takeaway from this conversation is just that regardless of what level you are, some of the things you just talked about, it's just different at each level with just tweaks. And that's all it is. There's no difference. Guys who do 100 deals, you don't have the magic pill. There's no magic pill, but there is drive, there is consistency, and there is authenticity. So thanks for watching, and maybe we'll do some more of this. John, thanks for coming on the show, my friend.
You got it.
All right.
Peace.